Hey everybody, Brian Smith from Showcase Agency here. If you're selling your home, once you accept the buyer's offer, the buyer will usually get a home inspection completed before finalizing the sale. And it doesn't matter how new or well-maintained your home is, there will always be repair or maintenance items that pop up on the inspection. Some buyers or their realtor will use the inspection as an excuse to negotiate for a discount on the sale price or to negotiate for the seller to pay the buyer a credit at closing. Now, if you didn't know this already, a credit paid by the seller at closing is referred to as seller concessions, and this can cost the seller thousands and thousands of dollars. Here's an example I just pulled off the MLS. Let's see here. It looks like it was listed by First Team Real Estate. And this is the official closing report from MLS. And it's got a lot of information that you're not going to be able to find publicly on, Zillow or Realtor.com or any other website. And as you can see for yourself right here in black and white, the seller gave the buyer $7,717 in seller concessions. So that's $7,717 that came out of the seller's money. And like I mentioned earlier, the seller was represented by a brand name company too, First Team Real Estate. So that didn't help much. In fact, I bet when the seller accepted the buyer's offer, she had no idea she was going to end up giving away over $7,000 of her money before it was all said and done. Here's another example. This one was listed by Redfin, and there were $4,000 in seller concessions. This one was listed by Berkshire Hathaway, and there were $10,000 in seller concessions. And this one was listed by Keller Williams, and there were $12,000 in seller concessions. So, what can you do if you're a home seller who wants to avoid wasting thousands of dollars on unexpected seller concessions? Well, one thing you can do is to know the difference between home improvements and home repairs and just say no to improvements. Let me show you a case study from one of our listings. We created a bidding war, and the winning bid was $10,100 over the asking price. But once the inspection was completed, the buyer's realtor tells us that the buyer is going to spend $20,000 on items for the house and asked us to meet in the middle and give them a credit of $10,000. Here's a copy of the email we received from the realtor. And here's a copy of the long itemized request for repairs they attached. Included in the list was the replacement of the air conditioner, the heater, the water heater, and new windows. Since these things were functioning normally, to replace them would clearly be a home improvement, not home repair or maintenance, which is what I was talking about earlier. Knowing the difference between home improvements and home repairs, and then just saying no to the buyer's request for money for the improvements. Manny and Stella, our clients, the sellers, they did not want to pay for these things. So here's how we negotiated it. The first thing we did was make it clear that our sellers were upset. This sets the stage by showing the buyers that we're not afraid to take a stand against their request. Then we made it clear that the sellers have not had any issues with the AC, heater, or water heater. We also pointed out that the buyer's inspection did not state that those items were broken. What this does is it begins to establish that their request is unreasonable. We made it clear that if the buyers want to improve the property, hey, that's their choice, and they need to do it at their own expense. This is making a clear distinction that what they are asking for are home improvements, not repairs related to health and safety issues. We reminded them that they had seen the property before ever making an offer, and they were aware of the condition of the home. This is basically saying, hey, nothing about the property has changed, so why the request for a change in terms? If you're a person who keeps his or her word, What are your grounds for this request? Then, in a nice way, we made it very clear that Manny and Stella were willing to walk away from the deal if need be and can do it immediately. This is a negotiation technique called a takeaway. We're basically taking away what the buyer deeply wants, which oftentimes makes the buyer want it even more. And if the buyer is going to cancel anyway, we want to know ASAP so we can reach out to the other buyers who made offers. That's why we asked the realtor to let us know their decision immediately. Well, we ended up closing on schedule, at the agreed upon price, and with no seller concessions. Here's a copy of the official MLS report showing the asking price and final sale price. So you can see right here for yourself there was no discount. And here's the seller concessions section of the report, and you can see for yourself there were 0 seller concessions. Pocketing the most money from the sale of your home isn't about doing a million different things. It's about focusing on 3 big things and then maximizing them. And avoid wasting thousands of dollars on unexpected seller concessions is one of those 3 big things. To avoid wasting thousands of dollars on unexpected seller concessions, it takes 3 steps. And knowing the difference between improvements and repairs and saying no to improvements, that's the second of those 3 steps. And as we've seen today, buyers may ask for $4,000, $7,000, $10,000 or more from the seller. So if you're the seller, you or your realtor must have a proven way to handle these situations. And just because a realtor works for a brand name brokerage like Keller Williams or Berkshire Hathaway or Redfin or First Team or any of them, it doesn't mean that they automatically know how to navigate these types of negotiations to the seller's benefit. From all of us here at Showcase Agency, we sure do hope you enjoyed watching this video, and we hope that the strategies we shared with you were helpful. If you'd like some free help, just call or text our office. Thanks so much. Have an awesome day.